Commissioners meeting of Roane presiding. God bless these United States, the great state of Tennessee, and the Psalms of me. This time, Chaplain Adams will lead us in prayer. Afterwards, please remain standing for the pledge to our nation's flag.
Let's pray. Most gracious Lord, Heavenly Father, what a privilege it is to join together tonight to conduct the business, Lord of the county. God, I thank you for these men and women that have given of their time, of their efforts, Father, of their talents to lead our county. Thank you for them, Lord. I pray for wisdom. God, I pray for your hand of guidance upon them. Bless us and be with us. Lord, lead us, and we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated, and please silence your cell phones.
All right, I'm showing 15. With that said, I need a motion to waive the 12-day rule.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Any debate? We're waiving it for the biennial indexing for reappraisal. So it is the last item on our agenda tonight, but go ahead and we'll waive it. If there's no discussion, no debate, Madam Clerk.
That's for the minutes.
Yeah. It's not on there. All right, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
Opposed.
All right, 14-1. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the February 9th meeting. Motion by Parks, second by Duff. Commissioner Parks.
Nothing further.
Commissioner Duff.
Nothing. Mr. Chairman, this says approve the minutes of the March 9th, 2026 meeting. Oh.
That's tonight.
Yes, it does. It should be good.
Well, my agenda says,
Okay, I just.
so I'm reading off the
Just want to
agenda.
make sure we vote.
So we'll make that correction.
Gotcha. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right, any discussion, any debate? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion passed. Acceptance of committee reports and correspondence. Motion by Berry, second by Gann. Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple things on report number one. I just want to make everyone aware that also on the tourism committee, we'll have a short-term rental meeting Monday night, and that will also bring in additional revenue on our hotel motel tax. So that's we don't know exactly how many short-term rentals we have, but we think there's a bunch in the county that have been paying no taxes. So that's going to be an interesting thing. We have that meeting Monday night to press go. We've been doing it, talking for a long time, and I think we're ready to press go. So that's an exciting thing. I guess on number 5, public utilities. They keep talking about new wastewater plants. They can't. We have to do the bonds for them, right? They can't do any financing in-house, right? That's up to us to finance them.
I hesitate to answer the chair. Jeff, you want to answer that? I hate to put you on the spot. The chair of the Roane County Public Utility Board is here.
I'm not come prepared to speak to that.
That's all right, that's all right. I'm just.
It's certainly not been discussed, bond issues. I believe you are correct. Since Roane County owns that property, Roane County would have to be the
You're
ones.
an enterprise.
I think you would have to be involved and address the issue.
And I guess the only reason that I even brought it up was, if that is the case, then let's make sure we get enough time to get all our information and stuff together before we have to actually do that. Y'all doing a great job and everything's good, so I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page in terms of.
Well, of course, we know anything we would have to bring to you has to be brought at a reasonable time.
Thank you very much. The other thing, Mr. Chairman, on number 14, the financial thing, I was just noticing a couple things there, that our business tax, we budgeted for 900,000, we received 96,000, so is that something that's?
That's something that comes in towards the end of the year.
Okay, so at the end of the year, so no reason to be concerned yet.
Right.
Okay, and our clerk, we had 570,000 budget revenue, we got 263, that probably is a seasonal thing.
Well, she turns in monthly revenue, so I'm not sure, she's at 46% as of January.
Right. Okay, and state revenue sharing, we had 500,000 from TDA, and we received nothing, is that
So that's
later
the
in
end
the
of
year?
the year, yes.
Okay, and on expenses, the county building, we had 847,000, we spent 596 already, 70%.
So a lot of that is on purchase order.
Good job, that's a good answer, way to go. Agricultural extension service, 171,000, and we've spent 107.
So the contract with them is, quarterly, so we, had that on purchase order as well.
Very good, all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gann? Nothing further. Any discussion, any debate? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries 15. We have about 23 notaries to approve tonight, so if you would scroll through them slowly for us. All right, motion by Henderson, second by Hooks. Commissioner Henderson.
I appreciate the votes, sir.
Commissioner Hooks.
I appreciate their willingness to serve and to the community and to the organizations that they work with.
Any discussion, any debate? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries 15. At this time, we'll be hearing of that delegation. That's when you'll come up and address the commission. Be mindful of 3 minutes, and your topic must relate, be germane to county business. Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Chairman, we didn't have no public hearing on the zoning, did we? Did we always have it before the meeting?
You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
But on my hit it, we'll have to stop and open up public, will we not? Or do it again?
You need to have the public hearing before you vote on the zoning resolution.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to stop this meeting and have a public hearing. It's just you need to have a public hearing before you vote on your resolution.
All right, so I'll suspend the commission meeting when it comes time for that resolution, and then open up public forum for that. Okay. And then close out public forum and then reassume commission. All right. Continue with hearing and delegation. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Yes, come on.
Hi, I'm Dawn Carlock. I represent the Roane Alliance. Justin Snow is out of town this evening, so he's tasked me with giving a little bit of a recap tonight. Updating you on ECD, we have applied for a TBA Invest Prep grant for $750,000, and also we're in the process of submitting a site development grant through the state for about $2 3/4 million to look at additional purchase of property near our industrial park to expand for industry. We also have a site visit this past week in Roane County Industrial Park with a new industry that's looking to move in there. We've recently purchased 15 acres in Roane Regional that will be on the agenda tonight as a resolution, so I'll be able to answer any questions at that time if you have any. As far as tourism goes, it's fishing tournament season, so our tourism director, Stacy, has done a wonderful job getting those on the books. We have some coming out of Rockwood, Kingston, and some new and exciting things. The Chamber of Commerce, we have over 380 members, and we are doing a new Women in Business program, so we're excited about that. And educational workforce, our career fair is coming up on March 31st, and it will be at Harriman High School, and it'll be all county 8th and 12th graders this year. So if you don't have any questions about that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great, thank you.
Hello, David Garcia, represent the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, Local 270 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We represent 7 counties, including part of Anderson County, Roane County, Morgan County, Pinterest County, Overton County, Scott County, Cumberland County, and Morgan County. What I'd like to talk about today is benefits and wages in the electrical industry, particularly as they relate to commercial and industrial construction projects in the region, the nuclear corridor. IBEW 270 represents a workforce that has helped build much of the infrastructure in Roane County and Anderson County. Today, local union 270 maintains over 90% wage share. in the market. And for much of the past decade, we've averaged over 80% market share and over 90% wage share. Our contractors and our workforce have consistently delivered high quality, safe, efficient work on some of the most important projects in the region. When we talk about construction in Roane and Anderson County, we're talking about billions of dollars in investment, thousands of construction jobs tied to building and maintaining infrastructure that supports our community and our industry and our economy. Because of that, we should all be concerned about any decline in wages and benefits in the construction industry. In the long run, lowering wages and benefits would not only hurt construction workers, it would also hurt local families, local businesses, and the surrounding counties that depend on this economic activity. So the conversation should not be about lowering standards. Instead, discussion should focus on ensuring that minimum wages on these projects are equal or greater to prevailing wage, so that the workers performing these highly skilled work are fairly compensated. In reality, many electrical contractors in the region are already paying well above prevailing wage. As a matter of fact, most are paying above negotiated wages that we have in our contracts. The training experience, workforce, another point worth mentioning, what happens with wages on the front end during construction directly affects what happens on the back end with permanent jobs and economic stability. Strong construction wages mean more money circulating in the local economy, stronger communities, and a workforce that can continue building the infrastructure our region depends on. Going all the way back to the Manhattan Project and the development of TVA facilities, skilled construction workers played a central role in building the infrastructure that made this region what it is today. Those projects helped establish Anderson, Roane, and the surrounding communities as a center of innovation, energy production, and national security. The workers who built those facilities earned good wages, good benefits, and received strong training. And those standards helped create the economic stability this region has enjoyed for decades. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak
Briefly.
Thank you. I'd like to speak. So last month I had some statements. Mr. Higgins came and he spoke. And I had been approached by one of our subcontractors, who was a union subcontractor in Oak Ridge. And he had asked me what could be done, what can we do to help? And so I found it as an opportunity, as a platform to bring up the issue for the small businessman, for the local contractors that hire union employees. I do have a concern for our small businessmen. And I know that our local subcontractors, the union shop, hire a lot of union workers. And I know we have big companies like Bechtel, and we have companies like Ucor, and we have companies like Kiwi that'll be coming in. And they'll hire a large amount of union workforce. But a lot of our backbone comes from our small subcontractors. I mean, they really do. The company I work for probably has over 30 subcontractors. And a lot of those employees are from Roane County. And so my concern was this, is when these companies are building and they bring companies in, then that takes work away from the small subcontractors, the small businessman who employs union workers. And when they leave and they take their workforce with them, our small business people have already had to close their shop because they can't get the work and they can't get the employees. So I want you guys to know I wasn't trying to not support you. I was just trying to bring the attention of the small subcontractors. So.
And I'd like to respond.
Yes, sir.
I know that most contractors that come in here, Morano, Oklo, Radiant, all of them have committed to small business. They've committed 20 to 30% of all contracts, subcontracts to small business, local small business.
Sir?
Yes, they have,
Thank you.
all of them. So, I mean, that, to me, that's not an argument.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, a couple of point of order. I think we passed on our public comment, and nothing that's not germane to what we can do. And I certainly appreciate the unions, they've been great. We really can't help them. I would like to see if our industrial board pass that on to them to be able, when they're doing their thing, to talk about these things that we're talking about tonight. I think we're opening ourselves up for more and more things that aren't germane to us if we're not careful. Thank you.
And I'd just like to respond as well. I believe that wages, benefits in Roane County are important to this body and to this community. And when we can prove that we have 90% of market share, 90% of wage share, and anything less than that is depriving the people of this community jobs and money. I believe that is sufficient to be for this party to hear. Whether you can do anything about it, if you can't support it, then believe me, we're gonna keep our market share. So, that's why we're here. We believe in it, we've fought for it. We're there, we're not going back. And if any support is all we're looking for, that's all we're looking for. We know you can only do so much, that's all we're looking for.
Thanks, sir. All right, next.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Dennis Walsh, Rockwood, Tennessee. Can you hear me all? Okay. First off, two things. Roane for Liberty is having a March 24th candidate forum at Kingston Community Center, 6:30. I think most of you are aware of that. So if you're available, we'd sure like you to come and tell us why you want to be a commissioner again. And second to that, I just picked up on the agenda for tonight. I haven't seen this before. Resolutions 03-2605 and 03-2606 on the bottom of page 2. I'm a longtime builder and I've always used the Universal Building Code. Most cities and municipalities do.
I pulled those two resolutions for tonight.
What's that?
They have been pulled.
Oh, they have, that's the ones you referred to earlier?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're more than welcome to come to the 23rd, 23 March,
Yes.
1800, workshop,
17:30.
17:30.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Marty Brown. I'm the Director of Site Integration for Kairos Power at our Hermes site over at the former K33 pad here in Roane County. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to come before the commission and update you on our project. When I got a call about joining Kairos about 5 years ago, it was a natural fit for me. I'm from East Tennessee, went to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. My wife is from Oak Ridge. I worked for over 40 years in the nuclear industry, many places around the country, so it's great to be here in the backyard to work on nuclear projects. We actually purchased the property there at K33 almost 5 years ago this July. So we're one of the first. A little bit about our company. We started meetings with the mission statement, and that mission statement is to we enable the world's transition to clean energy while improving people's quality of life while protecting the environment. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to talk to you about how we do that. And thinking back to those first 5 years when we bought the property, things have come a long way here towards establishing that mission. We owe a big thanks to Executive Creswell for supporting both advanced nuclear, and I remember we had some virtual meetings back in COVID, back almost 5 years ago now. We've tried to reach out to the community, be good community partners. So a few highlights that how we've helped transition the world to clean energy. We were the first advanced nuclear company to purchase land in the East Tennessee Technology Park. After it was reclaimed by DOE and returned to the community for economic development. I've been to some talks in the Oak Ridge area, and there was some talk, if you think about it 5 years ago, there wasn't a governor flying in every weekend. They had just reclaimed all this property and everybody wondered, will somebody actually come and build here? And we've actually been called out. We actually paid for our property. Okay, we were happy to pay for it. We've been paying property taxes. We're proud to be part of the Roane County community. You guys have done a great job in being the center of advanced nuclear, so we're happy to be part of that, with you. So fast forwarding, we're also, besides being the first in ETTP, we have the first NRC construction permits for advanced reactors. You're gonna hear about a lot of firsts, but you guys should take a lot of credit for being the first in the country. So when I say we've done something, that's really something you guys can be proud of as well, for creating the environment to support these projects. We're the first company to actually start construction, the first advanced reactor company in the country to start construction of advanced nuclear projects. We're the first advanced nuclear company to have a power purchase agreement with TVA. We signed a deal with Google and TVA, so that's also a first for the industry. So to support that, we have a lot of partners in the area. We partnered with Department of Energy. We worked with them very closely. It was a reclaimed site, but when we started digging, we had some things that we had to address. We worked closely with the Oak Ridge Environmental Management. We worked with Oak Ridge National Lab, if you've been to the site. And on that note, I would welcome all y'all to come out to the site and see the construction. We have 3D printed forms that were done by Roane to help with our concrete. We also worked with TVA, and so we'll be supplying the power to the TVA grid. We've invested millions of dollars in local community. We appreciate the support, and we want to be good neighbors, and we've tried to be for these last 5 years. We're developing a robust local supply chain. We want to create the opportunities you talked about for the local businesses and workforce to participate in our mission of mutual benefit from these Hermes projects. We're looking at ways, to address some of the concerns, improving the visibility of these offerings by highlighting some of these things on our website, kairospower.com. If you go there, you see a lot of resources. We're taking the feedback. We want to improve that so that it makes it real clear what opportunities are becoming available. We also support activities at UTK. We have a simulator lab that we do there. We train operators. We support Roane State, Chat State. We just had a tour with Tennessee Tech this morning with the professors and supporting their program, other TCAT campuses to create career pathways for students to join the advanced nuclear industry. So in summary, appreciate the opportunity to come here. Again, we welcome you all to come out to the site and see the first advanced reactor in the country under construction. So thank you.
Thank you for Kairos Power being here to help put Roane County on the map.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And which property was it y'all bought, sir?
The former K31, K33 pad at 760 Perimeter Road, about 185 acres there.
All right, next.
Again, thank you for the opportunity to introduce ourselves. I'm with Barnard Construction, medium-sized civil contractor headquartered in Bozeman, Montana. However, we are not new to Tennessee. We've been working continuously in Tennessee since 2014. My name is Shane Medley, project manager with Barnard. I've been with Barnard for 14 years and have been in the construction industry for 22. I'm a homeowner and a resident of Roane County and consider Roane County my long-term home. Barnard is a construction partner with Kairos Power on the Hermes projects. We are committed to being a positive contributor to the community, both socially and economically. The local involvement to date consists of ETech membership, and we'll be looking for other ways to get involved. Barnard is supporting student mentorships with University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Barnard is mentoring senior design teams at the University of Knoxville, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, to provide contractors perspective into their classwork. Barnard is guest lectures at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville in April. Barnard is in the process of establishing a regional office in East Tennessee. We anticipate that being coming to fruition in April of this year, and we would like to extend an invite during the opening. Our staff and craft are integrating themselves into the communities in ways volunteering in youth coaching and participating in fundraiser and events. In closing, Barnard is motivated and committed to work with Roane County and the local communities. Our request is that we work together and make each other's objectives successful and our mutual objectives overwhelmingly successful. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. All right, next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Phillips. My wife and I reside in Mays Valley, Harriman, Tennessee. And I am here tonight as the Roane County Sheriff candidate. And there's something I want to bring to your all's attention. If you don't know, we're having a primary. Who in here didn't know we was having a primary? We're having a primary. And the sheriff's race is going to be decided in the primary. So I just want to bring that out in the public, because there's times where I went around and said, you know, hey, I'm running for sheriff. And they're like, August will be here before you know it. Well, our election, the mayor's election, will be decided in May. So early voting's April the 15th through April the 30th. Election days, May the 5th. And I think it's really important for the people and citizens of Roane County to come out and vote. I hope our voter turnout is good. I don't know what else is being done to advertise the primary, but that's part of what I'm doing here tonight. And also, for those of you that know me, and there's probably people in the room that don't, I serve as the chief deputy at the sheriff's office currently and have for almost 20 years. And everybody in this room, it's been a pleasure to work with every person that sits on this commission, because without you all, we couldn't do our job, and vice versa. You know, you guys and ladies have done an awesome job. I've been through, you're the third mayor. You've been a great mayor. We've got a lot of great county commissioners, and you guys are the backbone of what drives this county. And I'm proud to say that I live here, and I'm proud to say that I work for the sheriff's office, and we're able to provide the services that we provide for this community. And I want to keep doing that. And the last 20 years has prepared me to step into that role of sheriff. And I think the sheriff would agree with that, because I've had the best teacher anybody could have coming up through the ranks. You know, I've worked for him for 27 years. He's been the sheriff for the last 20 years. And this is gonna sound a little bit complicated, but I've been his second in command for the last 24 years. That's a big deal for me. It's a big deal for him. And those of you all that know our working relationship and everything, our budget and, you know, working our budgets, running our jail, that's very important parts of the sheriff's office. And that's the part that people don't see. You know, the constitutional requirement of the sheriff is to provide safety. We run the jail, we oversee the courts, and we serve the papers in the process. You know, that business side of that, people don't see it. So we're running a $12 million business essentially, and always giving money back to the county commission so that you guys can just shake the nickels and dimes out so we can move forward. I'm asking for everybody's vote. Have a good night.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commission. My name is William Wilson. I'm on the library board in Kingston. Have y'all seen the invitation to the?
It's on my report tonight.
Thank you. But anyway, Roane County, as y'all all know, we're having this event on the 26th to inform all our powers that be in the city. We're gonna have all the libraries there over in Kingston. And please attend. Our libraries are a vital source, and it amazes if you look and see how many new library cards just come in Kingston alone. It's amazing. You go in there and you watch the traffic on a day. Sit over there for an hour and watch how much traffic goes in and out. Kids, they're doing a great job, and they need to be supported just like everything else. But if y'all come out, we're gonna have a program. There'll be a representative from the state, and you're invited, and please show up. It'll be informative, and last year's went real well. The mayor showed up for that, and it went well, and we had results. And thank you very much. looking forward to seeing you there. I know you'll be there.
All right, anyone else? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll move to the county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything to report. I will take questions if anybody has any questions about it.
All right, thank you, sir. Then we'll move to county mayor.
County attorney's making me look bad. I wish I could say the same thing, Mr. Chairman. I'll be as expeditious as I possibly can. If you all please refer to your rundown, which is hot off the presses. I'm only going to hit a few high points. First of all, very first point, very proud to report that through year to date, through January actually, that our property tax collections are at 97%. If you'll remember, you approved a budget last year, which only planned on collecting 92% of those taxes. So we're well ahead. We did that on purpose, of course, to be conservative, with it being a reappraisal year. We're very pleased to report that. Also proud to report that as through January, our sales tax collections are 10.88% higher than last year. So, good news there. Second point there, on Saturday, March 21st at 10:30 a.m., we'll host a dedication ceremony at Glen Alice Convenience Center, renaming that center after former County Commissioner Benny East. So you all are invited to attend. We'd love to see you there. Next point, as Chairman Hester has already announced, but on March 23rd at 5:30, we will have a workshop to specifically talk about adopting the 2024 International Building Code and International Residential Code. And we'll also discuss at that meeting the potential to add 4 new firefighters to the 121 budget. Next point, I'm also very proud to report that we have hired a Director of Planning and Zoning. Corey Haggard will be here March 30th. He's already been here working with Brooke last week. We're really excited about the team of planning that we have now, especially in light of what we anticipate happening in our county, to help shape what growth looks like with the vision that we set forth for our county working together. So very excited about that. 2 more things. Each of you have a report on your desk. It looks like this. It says Orano in the front of it. We have an intern from the UT Baker School of Public Policy, Sage Smith, is working in our office this semester, and is one of his key responsibilities is to stay in contact with our nuclear companies and compiling a report on their progress for you. He'll be doing that for the next 2 months as well. So that's what this report is in front of you here. And then two quick things. Very proud to announce on the second page here, if you'll look, that Mike Beard, who's our project manager in our county executive's office, won the Extra Mile Award for Tennessee Riverline. He's been working with Tennessee Riverline. Thank you for helping me congratulate him. But he's been working on Tennessee Riverline with Bonnie Angus and our team since it was initiated. We're one of the charter members, and a lot of that has to do because of their work. Lastly, I have noticed that there is a troop of Boy Scouts here tonight, unless they're already bugged. But I was going to point them out and recognize them because they were just stopping by on the way to their meeting because they wanted to check out this meeting. I thought that was pretty cool. But that concludes my report. Mr. Chairman, glad to take any questions.
All right, thank you, sir. Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
I think we're getting close next month, maybe on our lease on our building.
Yes, we are in the process of renegotiating that. I don't have details yet, but we're working.
Any reason to think we can't do something monthly or anything?
I have no reason to believe that.
And, any reason to doubt that everything's going well with our companies that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I have Sage working on that report, is to give you that progress. You got a great report from Kairos Power last night, which is absolutely leading the way. They've broken ground on 3 facilities within a year, right, Nikki? And you have 2 nuclear reactors that are actually under construction right now. One they just broke ground on, the other one is well underway. Kairos Power is leading the way in advanced nuclear reactor construction. That's happening right now. The rest, but
Junior sent me, he noticed an article today, today, that DOE announced a property transfer of 700 acres to the city of Oak Ridge. I think maybe IDB, that's for Arano. So that will be going straight to Arano in the next week or two.
So how many additional acres do we have that DOE controlled that came over from?
Cannot answer that question. When we went to DC last month, we went to ask for a large tract of land. Because of what's happening in DOE right now with large, very, very large projects, we don't know that they'll be transferring anything. They may hold it off for missions. We continue to have those discussions, but things are happening daily, if not hourly right now.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle Power, again. For leading that.
Thank you. All right. Glad to be here. We'll move on to, special orders. We do have 3 of them. First up, special, order 1 is appointment of Cal Adams as chaplain for Roane County Commission. Motion by Goss, second by Duff. Commissioner Goss.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say, I get to see daily what Cal does for Roane County Sheriff's Department. He's in early, he stays late, he comes in on his days off, and he does this because he cares about the people of this county. He cares about the officers, he cares about everybody. I think this is an excellent appointment. Mayor, I really give you high praises for that. Cal is definitely an asset for what time he's been here. And I would say if you would ask some of the individuals he's talked to, he's been more than beyond a blessing. All I have to say, sir.
Commissioner Duff.
Mr. Goff said a lot. Don't know what I can add, but appreciate what he does for the sheriff's department, and I look forward to what he can bring to our commission.
And I can speak for him, personally, he's not a snake handling preacher, I will tell you that. I know that firsthand. Any discussion, any debate? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
To ask Mr. Gainer. I have to go to.
My name is.
It's been it kicked me off earlier. I don't know what's going on.
My name is.
All right, Travis, you want to voice vote?
Yes.
Can you? All right, I do have, you must have got food, Travis, or you changed it? Okay, thank you. All right, special order number 2, accept the resignation of Kerry Cagle of the Roane County Planning Commission. Motion by Ferguson, second by Dr. Hamilton. Commissioner Ferguson.
She just resigned. I really didn't understand why, but Wade probably knows more about it than we do.
She is the director of ORISE, which is Oak Ridge Institute of Science Education. I believe that's the right acronym. Her job demands have grown significantly, and she just came to me and says it's just too much for her to handle. She did a great job while she's on there.
Oh yeah, she's done good while she's on there. She's done a great job.
All right. Dr. Hamilton, you had a second?
I just appreciate her willingness to serve in the years that she served us.
All right. Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk.
Yes.
All right. Motion carried.
It's got Ron, is that in your absence? I keep, let me see your administrator. Present.
God will take care of it. Don't say that too loud. You took my microphone off.
You want a voice vote it, Ron, or?
That's fine, yes. Yes.
Okay, it's yes vote, so we move on the way. All right, accept the resignation of Wendy Schubert from the Board of Zoning and Appeals. Motion by Duff, second by Gann. Commissioner Duff.
I don't have anything to add.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing, sir.
All right, any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. And then at this time, let's suspend the commission meeting, and then we'll go into public hearing for zoning. So, sorry about that, Travis. It's normally me. This is public hearing, for zoning resolution 03-2601 Zulu, a resolution of the Roane County Planning Commission recommending action by the Roane County Legislative Commission on a resolution amending the Roane County zoning. Is anyone here with property that would like to speak to this?
Good evening, everyone. This is a parcel that has 16,000 square feet of warehouse on it. It's zoned R1, and the owner would just like the land to be zoned appropriately at commercial C2. Adjacent to the parcel is a C2 parcel. So the planning commission didn't have too much issue with that, but I'll open it up to your questions if you have them.
This is 316 Old Harriman Highway. All right, any commissioners? Any debate or any discussion? All right. Well, and this resolution number is at, somebody.
03-26-01Z.
Yeah, but there's another. All right. No other discussion, we'll close out the public hearing for it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll resume county commission. And normally, the reason this is out of sync, guys, it's on a separate page, and I apologize for that. Wade and I didn't discover that when we reviewed the packet, Friday, because normally it's other sheet of paper, saying that there's a public hearing and zoning, so, we won't fail you again on that. At this time, we will vote on resolution 03-2601 Zulu. Motion by.
You got Travis.
Well, I need a motion. Second by Kirby. All right, any discussion, any debate? Hearing none, seeing none. All right, everybody's tablet working now?
Correct.
All right. All right, we do have 14 new business we'll get into. Like I said, we pulled two of them. Resolution for the abandonment of a portion of, all interest of, Roane County, if any, in a strip of land running from Sycamore Drive to parcel 35 on control map 46 Juliet. Motion by Ferguson, second by Parks. Commissioner Ferguson.
This was a piece of land on Sycamore there that went through the planning commission and everybody agreed it needed to be closed. Ain't been used in probably 50 years, so we voted to close.
All right, thanks, sir. Commissioner Parks.
Nothing further.
All right. Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. Motion carries 15. Resolution 03-2602, resolution, naming a private road Split Tree Way. Motion by. Motion by Cunningham, second by Parks. Commissioner Cunningham.
No.
Commissioner Parks.
No, I don't have none.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. On yours. There we go. All right. Motion carries. Resolution 03-2603, resolution, naming a private road Cypress Way. Motion by Gann, second by Hamilton. Commissioner Gann.
Nothing.
Commissioner Hamilton.
No, sir.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. All right, resolution 5 and 6 have been pulled. I don't know if it's in your packet. I'm sorry. Renaming, resolution 03-2604, resolution renaming, Butterfly Way to Whitetail Way. Motion by Goss, second by Cunningham. Commissioner Goss.
I'd hate for us not to rename a road after a hardcore deer hunter in Mr. Alcorn back there.
Commissioner Cunningham.
No.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. See, I was trying to move ahead real fast there. All right, 5 and 6 have been pulled. Resolution 32607, a resolution authorizing the submission of 2026 Community Development Block Grant Program application to fund public health and safety. Motion by Duff, second by Hamilton. Commissioner Duff.
This will be a grant that would go toward a new campus. There's a matching portion. I think we have to, the county has to do $86,000.
All right. Commissioner Hamilton.
Nothing further.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. Motion carries. Resolution 032608, a resolution to appropriate $300,000 in the General Capital Project Fund 171 to reimburse the purchase of property with the Sizzle LLC within the Roane County Regional Industrial Park. Motion by Duff, second by Parks. Commissioner Duff.
This piece of property, 15 acres in the, industrial, the Roane Regional Business and Technology Park.
Technology Park, yeah.
We, in the agreement, if it wasn't used within a certain amount of time, we could buy it back. We are buying it back and we will put it to use and be able to have a business there that's making us some property tax money.
Commissioner Parks.
Lance done a fine job explaining. I have nothing to add.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries. 32609, resolution to amend the budget within the General Capital Project Fund, transfer funds 171 to 171 vehicle to purchase a replacement vehicle for building codes. Motion by Duff, second by Wilson. Commissioner Duff.
We have a vehicle that has died. They were going to request it in next year's budget. We're gonna have to move earlier than that within the codes department.
Commissioner Wilson.
Nothing further.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. Motion carries. Resolution 032610, a resolution amending the General Purpose School Fund, Central Cafeteria Fund 143 and School Capital Projects Fund 177, reflection changes in revenue expenditures estimate for fiscal year 2026. Motion by Kirby, second by Berry. Commissioner Kirby.
Nothing further.
Commissioner Berry.
Just housekeeping. Thank you.
Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. Motion carries. Resolution 032611, a resolution authorizing the appropriation of the remaining opioid abatement settlement funds received in April 2024. Motion by Lehman, second by Cunningham. Commissioner Lehman.
Nothing, sir.
Commissioner Cunningham. Any discussion, any debate? Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries. Resolution 032611, authorizing the appropriation of the remaining opioid abatement settlement funds in April. Sorry, that was one we just did. This 12, resolution, of the County Commission of Roane County, Tennessee, urgently requesting the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Federal Highway Administration to implement comprehensive safety measures, infrastructure investments, improvements, and increased coordination on Interstate 40 and state highways within Roane County. And Commissioner Wilson.
Yeah, this is something we've been working on for quite a while. We went to Nashville last week, myself, Mayor Cresswell, Commissioner Berry, and our road superintendent, Dennis Ferguson, and had a very successful meeting that was coordinated by Senator Yeager. We couldn't have had better players in the room than what we had. This is something we've dealt with for a long time. I think everybody in this room has been affected in some way by being shut down on the interstate, and it's pushing into our cities. Every city's been affected. We've had roads affected. We've had Gallohard, Longville, Highway 58, Highway 70, Laverne. It's overtaking our community, and we're trying to protect our investments that we have in the nuclear renaissance that's out in Oak Ridge.
and some of our main players of both, Y12 and ORNL. So, the state has agreed, on certain aspects. To do a study was really big for us to get some of this done, because we made proposals to them. Mayor, help me out if I miss any of this. It was to reduce the speed limit from 70 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour. Our whole focus is to keep traffic moving. That's our whole focus. They may come back and say no, they may meet in the middle, but all we're trying to do is cut the incident rate from over 1,700. Our families are driving up and down this road. Your family is driving up and down this road, and it's becoming one of the deadliest stretches in Tennessee. I don't know if you all know this. Knoxville's the fastest growing city in the United States, second to Nashville. We fall in this corridor of 23 miles that is having over 1,700 incidences and putting our response constantly up on the interstate. So with that, they've agreed on certain aspects, which was, like I said, 70 to 60 to study that, putting the trucks in the left-hand lane. They may not do that, but they're gonna study it and see if that is an issue that's causing some of the backup. Already coming down Rockwood Mountain at 60 mile an hour. They wanna have warning signs on each end of the county that is updated with Tennessee Department, the TDOT cameras that update the information for our citizens. We all know that getting on Kingston, Galahar, Harriman exits, you have to be getting when you're getting on, because it's such a short interim spot to be able to enter the interstate. We've asked for that to be extended on. That's one of the aspects that we're looking at. They've also they're gonna put no parking zones on the entrance and exit ramps to keep the trucks, because you don't have long to get on. And if they're sitting there, then you're in trouble, which is something that's happening as well. They're also been gracious enough, we're third on the list to get the TDOT safety trucks. It's the yellow trucks like you see in Knoxville, the crash trucks. We are gonna be doing one that's in temporary basis that they're bringing into Roane County. It'll probably be in the May timeframe, but that's gonna help our emergency personnel that's up there dealing with the traffic, and it's so dangerous. And most of all, THP is doing their part. Lieutenant Colonel Matt Perry with the Highway Patrol is doing his part and putting them up there and trying to control the traffic. One thing I want to point out to you as well, this is not going to stop the accidents. This is not going to stop the gridlock, but we have to take steps in the right direction. We have to start taking those steps. If we had 4 lanes on the interstate, you're still going to have accidents. But what we're trying to do is protect our citizens, protect this county, and protect our investments that we have. And I think that we're moving in the right direction, and it's taken a lot of coordination. Mayor Creswell's office and Road Superintendent and Senator Yeager, they have been a great help and a great asset on that. So that's all I have to say.
Commissioner Byrd.
Wow, it was a great meeting. I think even Senator Yeager was surprised at the positive reaction. There was not a negative response, I don't think, in the whole meeting from any of those. And to have the Commissioner of Transportation and the top dogs from TDOT and Highway Patrol in the same meeting was really good. Commissioner Wilson was saying we've got 5,100 in the last 3 years, 5,100 incidences on there. And I think some of the things, for instance, just the other day, there was a wreck at the Kingston exit. They wanted 3 ambulances there. And we've got 5. So we took 3 ambulances out of our system. You can only rotate ambulances. If you got 2 ambulances in this county, and some of those are for a couple of hours. Hazmat, our hazmat team may spend a half a day up there on an accident. So it's really hurting our infrastructure there. I think the speed reduction, they're gonna do a study. We probably won't get 60. And the presence, we asked for more highway patrol presence. Colonel Perry almost got on his phone while we were there and said, move them out. We want to try to get the presence out of the cities onto the interstate if they're just sitting there, because what he told us was if we start writing tickets, you're gonna have more accidents because of the right hand lane pull off there, so, that was another issue. They're gonna put in a heavy volume traffic area, and we asked for a high crash area, but that's a liability situation for them, so we won't get that, but we will get some signs. And on the resolution, extend acceleration and deceleration lanes at exit 350, except westbound, I think that should be eastbound. And then the other exits are there as well. And then, the only other thing was on number 8, where we're talking about the highways, we need to include Highway 27 on there. But it was a great time. I think it brought attention to Roane County from a traffic standpoint. Nothing that none of them knew. They were all aware from the accidents at the Rockwood Mountain site, so they were all aware of it. So it was a great day for us to be able to expand on that. So thank you very much.
All right. Chair recognizes Commissioner Henderson.
You know, I'm glad to see it's happening because like Ron said, 1-2 car accident take out our whole ambulance fleet. So you got them sitting on the interstate and then you're calling one of your parents is having a heart attack. Yeah, that does us no good. And then even if we did have an ambulance or emergency personnel, fire truck, whatever need to get through, all of downtown Kingston, 70's blocked. None of us can move and they can't either. Same way at Cameron exit. So, we're gonna have to do something. None of us in this room's getting younger. So, I want the ambulance to be able to get to me if they need to. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Chair recognizes Commissioner Kirby.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just want to let you know I sat on the road committee, and Commissioner Wilson did come in that committee, we all stood behind him. Just was no commission, know that it has been through the road committee. Thank you all for doing that.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Wilson.
Hey, real quick, I forgot this, I'll make it quick. One of the big points about this, someone said, why are y'all, why are you doing this? So the state's gotta be doing something on this. Well, this is something that should have took place 20 years ago. I want you to know, no matter if we put 3 lanes in or not, do you know when you're looking for that to get completed? Around 2045.
Yep.
2045, we don't have that long. So this is why this has become a sense of urgency, and they're looking at the routes and extending around, doing the bypass. So if people are wondering, that's one of the reasons why. So just add that to it.
Chair recognizes County Executive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 quick points. One, we didn't quite touch on this. You did a fantastic job explaining, but one angle that we emphasize when we're there is national security angle. A lot of people don't realize, but the Office of Secure Transportation is headquartered, at least the eastern part of it is headquartered in Roane County. So making sure that we have our roadways moving, along with the material being transported through the county with our federal assets. That was one of the things we took, angles we took to talk to them, and they paid attention. The second thing is, you'll notice it says the very first resolution, a joint resolution. The cities are also considering this. So I think they wanted to wait on us and follow our lead to do this, but all 5 cities, I think Oak Ridge is also considering it tonight. But I felt like that was a great way for us to work together to make a statement to the state. Thank you.
All right, any other, Chair recognizes Commissioner Bird.
Yes, sir. I didn't probably make myself clear on the amendment. I'd like to amend the resolution, to, number 2, to delete and a high crash area. I'd like to delete that verbiage, and on, number 5, exit 350 eastbound.
No, that's right. Because we're talking because it backs up onto the interstate on 350 westbound. Yeah.
Okay.
I noticed twice last week, it was backed up onto the interstate on 350.
Okay.
Going west.
Okay, and then, I'd like to add on number 8, Highway 27.
Madam Clerk, are you tracking what he's amending? All right, Ron, restate your amendment.
On number on number 2, I'd like to delete "and a high crash area." And in number 8, add Highway 27 into there, under the highways.
All right, Commissioner Wilson, this is your resolution you're submitting. Do you accept that as a friendly?
I do.
Okay. And motion to amend, keep me straight, do a voice vote on an amendment.
Do you have a second?
Yes.
Well, no, you don't. You just said.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Wilson, I'm sorry, I thought Wilson.
No, he's the submitter of the resolution, so, motion by Berry, second by Hendrickson. Motion to amend, section 2 and then add 27 to section 8. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Madam Clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign. All right, motion carries. Now we need to vote on as amended.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, can I add one quick thing? Kaylee just reminded me, we got an email not too long before the meeting, from Joe Deering, who we met. He's the deputy, commissioner for TDOT. He said we will begin the I-40 study as well as many other items soon. I've asked Amanda Snowden is the regional director, to set up a meeting with you and your leadership as well as with THP and to continue, our meeting and get a better understanding of all the issues. So that dialogue's open. I think it's a huge step forward for us. So that just happened this afternoon. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion, any other debate? Now we're gonna be voting on, resolution 03-2612 as amended. Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries 15. Resolution 03-2613, a resolution establishing Roane County Senior Property Tax Relief Matching Program. Motion by Wilson, second by Hamilton. Commissioner Wilson.
Oh, this one I'm absolutely ecstatic about. This is the first ever Roane County Senior Property Tax Relief for our senior citizens that's over the age of 65 that qualifies for the tax relief program. The Roane County has 2 programs. They have a tax freeze, and then they have a tax relief. And this was a coordination between Molly's office, our director, Jennifer, Chris Mason, and Mayor Cresswell's office. It had to be a joint coordination on this because what we were trying to do is make this simplistic, that program. And they've been a resident of Roane County for 10 years, 10 consecutive years. Then we are going to match, for the first time, we're going to match the state reimbursement of 100%. So what that means to them, and this is made on a stair-step program, that we will be able to significantly make impacts in the future for our senior citizens on fixed income, which I think everyone in this room agrees that's something neat. They've paid tax long enough, and it's time we give them a break on this. So what it does, so if they qualify on that, the state reimburses them 120. We're gonna do a question, I'd be glad to answer it, or what they'll do is when they get their certificate from the trustee's office, they'll walk down to Molly's office. She'll verify that they've been in the county for 10 years. So you have to do that because you would have people moving in, right? So you have to, there's other counties that does this. There's counties that do it on 200%, 60%. And, we were able to do this and afford this. So, like I said, if you have any questions, I'll do my best to try to answer.
All right, Commissioner Hamilton.
It's great description. Nothing further.
All right, I've got 3 requests to speak. Commissioner Gaines.
No, sir, I didn't.
All right. Everybody's lying to me on here. Commissioner Henderson.
Right here, sir.
We just need to quit advertising and retire on Roane.
I think we do.
Yeah, with the Alliance has, so we need to stop that program.
It's a no.
It's still.
No, it got annulled as of this week.
Did it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
Yes, sir. I would like to amend the 10 years. Commissioner Wilson, we're just going from 120 to 240, right?
do you think this is something we could start out with and then revisit it, come back and revisit it to see, make sure
We can do that. I just think we don't know, really know how many, we don't have a whole lot to begin with, do we?
we're looking possibly around 700 that I think qualify under this. So, you know, roughly in that neighborhood somewhere. Yes, sir.
Do we have the budget impact for 5 years worked out? I think we do. Yeah, so we only had the budget impact for what, 10 years would look like right now.
Yes.
You still want to amend it, or?
Can I say something? This came up in the budget committee and it did not come out of budget committee to go to the 5.
I'll withdraw my amendment.
Okay, good, that makes it easy. All right, any other discussion, any other debate? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. I look forward to taking advantage of this. All right, motion carries. Next resolution, 0326, 14, a resolution for the Roane County Commission to approve an agreement between Roane County, Tennessee and Keisha Jarnigan for the management of the Riley Creek Campground for 25-26 season. Motion by Brackett, second by Kirby. Commissioner Brackett.
Only thing I guess I have, shouldn't this come through Parks and Rec Committee? And it's not,
No, that doesn't go, that's my question.
to look over it, to see what, if anything's changed. I've not seen it come through there.
Point taken.
Is it about over?
When's the contract up?
We typically sign this when?
This goes from November of 25 to March of
Yeah, we're late on it. It starts in
It's already
November.
over.
No, it's not open, it started.
It's a renewal contract.
Renewal contract running November through October.
I think we meet tomorrow night.
Park committee meeting.
Thursday night, so. So y'all needs to go through the committees. We do everything else.
All in favor of sending it back to committee, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries, we'll move it back. All right. Next one is, where we're gonna waive the 12-day rule for its beginning of the commission meeting, and this is authorizing a rezoning, a 4-year reappraisal, and Molly has, some information for us on it. Motion by, let's get them floor first, motion by Cunningham, second by Brackett, I'm sorry, motion by Duff, second by Brackett. Commissioner Duff.
Yes, when we went to change from 5 to 4 years, I was one that wanted to go 2 years at that point, so I'm glad to see this. I look forward to hearing from Molly on what this will mean for Roane County.
All right, second by Brackett. Commissioner
We
Brackett.
don't have the resolution in front of us that I can see, 1, and 2. How does this just come up and say it has to be done? How long have we had it? How long have we known about it? And we're asked to vote on something that we really don't know nothing about.
I sent it to Amber and she emailed it to you all. I got copied on it,
When,
last week. She did send it to all the commissioners.
is this something that has to be done tonight?
Yes.
All right,
I have one copy. If y'all wanna pass it around. I didn't know that y'all didn't have it, cause I emailed it to you and then.
I know I had a copy of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that the rest of the commission did get a copy. Did anyone get a copy emailed to them?
Yes. I got one on 6.
We got it. So that's
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. I've got one, Ms. Cunningham, you request to speak?
No.
Okay. Brad Gallus, request to speak?
I just have a question I was gonna ask about, Lance brought up, I noticed on that one paper, it was talking about, the base of, the market base averaging every 2 years. That's what I've heard this week, that we was going to a 2-year thing. And I mean, after looking at all this and finally getting this, I understand a little bit more. So it is a 4-year reappraisal, it is not a 2-year. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Berry.
Yes, if you remember, when we were at Gatlinburg a couple of years ago, the comptroller talked to us about indexing. I think at that time, we even got a report that showed our indexing, and it showed how much money was on the table between the appraisal time. And so I think what's happening now is we're getting back to that same indexing. So we're going from 4 to 2. And what that would do is help us eliminate a 60% or 75% variance in reappraisals. It would help us to get additional monies on the table. I'll yield to our CTAS.
Wait, Ron, before you start yielding, I've still got people discussing on the Commissioner Hooks needs to speak. He's gonna get up and give a slide presentation.
Who is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do what?
Commissioner Hooks, Ron, would you, other than, you can, okay. Commissioner Hooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to be brief. Molly does a good job in her office. Her staff does a good job. I trust what she tells us. The only hiccup, it's not a problem, the only hiccup I have is waiving the 12-day rule. Every month, just about that we come before the commission, we're waiving the 12-day rule for something. And when you waive the 12-day rule, the public doesn't get a chance to digest it and come and speak to it if they want to. And I know we waived the 12-day rule, but we have those rules in place for a purpose. And I know the need for this, and I know we're gonna vote for it, I'm gonna vote for it. But please, if we're gonna put a resolution in, let's make sure that we got a 12-day rule for a reason. And that 12-day rule is to give the general public, and I know these times we can't do anything but waive the 12-day rule. But when all possible, when we waive the 12-day rule, let's make sure that we have to waive the 12-day rule. And another thing is, a lot of times we send back to the committee and something that's needed, like this contract to get looked at, we want to debate that. So we need to come down with an understanding. That's all I'm saying. We kind of got loose on the way that we conduct business. And we need to either tighten it up or change the word.
And I'll answer that about the 12-day rule. Wade knows I'm not a fan. Me and the county executive have a great understanding about waiving that 12-day rule. It's the first time I've waived it in a while. So I'm not a fan of waiving that 12-day rule just on anything.
I guess the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I get it.
Is that we need to be consistent in what we do. If we're gonna do it from one office, we need to do it from the other office. You know, it needs to be a standard.
Yeah, and I've disapproved the 12-day rule too, so, all right. Was you done, Mike?
I'm done.
All right, Nancy?
I just have a quick question. How long have we had this information? Like, how long have we had it? Like, have we been sitting on it, is my question. Could you speak to that, Molly?
Yes.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So this has been talked about for many years. The assessors have been telling the state, we need more frequent. They found out real quick in our last few reappraisals of how much money we lost in ratios, and then how much our appraisals spiked due to inflation, due to everybody moving here. I found out that this was an option in January and February of this year. Okay, so the law went through finally that they could include indexing. It wasn't 4, 5, and 6. And so Comptroller Mumpower tried to get this passed 2 years ago. The bill failed. But we as the assessors slid in something on the back of one of our bills to give us this opportunity to talk about in the future. So the state finally listened to us, and so they have come up with what we call biennial indexing. And we'll go into that more, but I did not have the opportunity to put it on January. I didn't have the opportunity to put it on February. So I was literally by the skin of my teeth trying to get it in here because I have to have by their meeting in April. So Macy is giving me some grace, our Assistant Director of DPA. He came and met with us in February with my esteemed colleague, Johnny Alley. He's the Anderson County Property Assessor, and Billy Brown, and several of my staff, because it is such a complex but easy thing. I mean, it's very complex of the process, but it will save the county money, okay? We will not lose money, but anyway, he came and met with us personally here in Roane County. About 6 or 8 of us in there, I think, and spent all day with us, because I told him I'm not comfortable with doing this until I can explain it to you all. And so Gabe has also been very gracious in coming, because he's been going to every county all over, East Tennessee. He's the East Tennessee, representative for CTAS, for the assessors. And so, I didn't have the opportunity, and I apologize if I could have had it. I would have loved to have had it in the time, but this has been talked about, and then all of a sudden, boom, you can do it. You can now amend it. I was like, we can amend, because my plan was written last year for the next 4 years. We had to have that submitted in last February. And so it wasn't even on the table. Indexing wasn't on the table. More frequent reappraisal wasn't on the table, other than the 4, 5, and 6. So I heard you all. Y'all wanted a more frequent reappraisal, so I went to 4. I didn't want to jump into a 3 or a 2, because I don't have the staff for that. I would have to have more staff for that, and even for a 3. And myself and my staff have discussed it, and we feel confident, and this is a trial and error, but we feel confident right now. I have 11 employees that we can do this indexing. So it's twofold. It's indexing, and also we have to review, okay? So we have to index in 2 years, and then in 4 years, we still have to review, boots on ground, okay? So it's twofold. So mine is the 4-4, and so then we are going to the indexing. I'll let Gabe say more, but I apologize about the 12-day rule. I would have loved to have had it on the books last year. But it just came to fruition this year, and there's about, would you say 5 counties that are now on to get on the April? 7 or 8. 7 or 8, okay, so it's going up. More and more counties are seeing what this is gonna do for their county. And so, Johnny and I have been talking about it. We have to match. Anderson County and Roane County have to be on the same cycle, same reappraisal, whether it's indexing, not indexing, whether we have the ratio, whatever. Our 2 counties share Oak Ridge, and so we have to be on the same page. So he's come tonight to, help support me tonight. I'll do the same for him. But whenever y'all are ready, Gabe will come up and
All
give you all
right,
some more
let me
information.
clear the request here first. Commissioner Henderson.
You're saying you're not going to hire anybody new to do this?
I asked for a new employee 2 years ago in preparation for a more frequent reappraisal. And, Comptroller Manpower had to pull his bill. He saw that it wasn't going to be passed. And so that kind of put me in a position, but then I found out that we had a bill in there, the Assessors Association, the NWO, where we put it on the end that we could have that opportunity. So now indexing can happen. So,
But you're not going to hire anybody
not this year,
round.
not this
But
round.
how quick you see it moving? 2 years, what happens? At that point in time, you're going to hire them people.
Oh, yeah. I have 11 right now. This is, I didn't want to jump into a 2 or 3 until I knew what this takes, what time frame, how much review. There's so many moving parts to this that I didn't want to set us up for failure. I want to know that I have the staff to accomplish this. So Johnny and I chose to go to a 4-year because it's a shock. It was a shock last year, okay, when everybody got their tax bill. Believe me, I know, it was a shock. We got the calls, the screaming, the hollering. So it was a 68% overall increase last year. In 2020, it was 14%. We thought that was huge in 2020. And then all of a sudden, the C word happens and we move forward and inflation shoots up and then we jump to 68%. Anderson County is sitting at 88% overall. So ours was one of the lower ones, thank goodness. Our 78% is on residential help sign, but I had, my mobile homes went up 300 and 400%. So it just makes me sick, but the way the law is written, I have to appraise things, what they're selling for, and, it's very difficult. I try to work with everybody and be as fair as I can, but we're strapped with the TCA law, and we have to do it correctly, so I was excited that they had given this opportunity for our citizens to not have such a shock in 4 years, like we just did. Because we're already sitting right now, 1 year out from reappraisal, we're sitting at 88%, so we're sitting between 85 and 88%, which means we're 12 to 15% under market value.
So is there a time frame for y'all to go up to every 2 years or every year? Is there a time frame that we have to do it?
No.
We
No.
don't have to do it?
No, we do not have to do it. I went to a 4, just to get a little more frequent. I had no idea indexing was even gonna be a thing when I had that plan. But I wanted to just gradually go into this because I didn't wanna shock the citizens, my taxpayers any more than they were last year. Because the values typically stay frozen, or not frozen, but the same from reappraisal to reappraisal, okay? That next reappraisal is when they change. Well, with the state introducing this to, all of us assessors, that we have this opportunity now to get rid of the ratio by indexing. So that way we don't lose thousands of dollars, if not a $500,000 to $1 million. So that way we can, save our taxpayers here money that you all are not that you're trying to scramble to buy an ambulance or buy a sheriff's car or buy whatever. Cause, and he'll tell you those, bosses here in just a moment. I couldn't sleep at night if I didn't tell you all about this. Is it gonna be more work on my office? Yes. But is it the best choice for, Roane County? Yes. So we've got, White County, they went to a 3 and they're now on a 2. They just finished up their 3, they're now on a 2. So they won't have a ratio or indexing, right? On a 2. So, but he's a bigger county, more employees. You know, if I ever had that opportunity, I could do it, you know, if I had the employees. So, having that extra employee 2 years ago, I told you, the budget committee, whoever was on there, I would like to get this person in and trained before the 2025 reappraisal hits. I want them to understand how this process works, how we come to market value, the whole bit and caboodle, because it is so complex. And I didn't want just a green person or not having enough in one, but I wanted them to understand about a more frequent reappraisal, and I wanted them to go through a regular reappraisal because the future was talking about a more frequent reappraisal. So y'all gave me that opportunity, and I have the most amazing staff ever. They are the best team. They work so hard, and we're already ahead on our review, so.
Let me clear these out, and then he can get up and give a presentation.
All right.
Commissioner, okay, Commissioner Goss.
Hey, Molly, I just got a question on you. And I won't say what mine is. You all do a phenomenal job. Have we got an issue with communication, getting stuff out? It's everywhere. I mean, if I sit down with all of this commission, other than the fantastic people we got around it up here, is communication. So what would our penalty be if this did not get in? I mean, if we didn't prove this tonight. So
that would put us to not being able to index next year, and that would bring in the ratio. So we're already sitting at a 15% or 88% ratio, 15% low. So we're already gonna lose money. So that, when I say ratio, that affects all your commercial, personal property and your OSAP properties. So your OSAP properties, Office of State Appraised Properties, your railroads, telephones, you've got your buses, trains, barges, the big things. We have an office at the comptroller, under the comptroller, that does that specifically. I do not, but they send that tax roll to me they get that ratio plus an extra 15% that we didn't know about till 5 years ago. So we lose a lot of money with the ratio.
I got one more thing, if you don't mind, ma'am. On this index and explanation, under it says revaluation, it says once every 5 years. And then on down at the bottom, it says under the policy choice, it says large adjustments every 5 years. Is that just an error that was made, or?
I don't know which one are you looking at?
It's the index, it's the index and explanation.
But that's the one I sent you on Macy, he did do that for me, so I guess because I was on a 5-year before, reappraisal, maybe he was, let me see that. Oh, I don't have that. Is that one I sent?
That's what I got on the 6th.
Okay, well then that is what I sent you then. We call that
And then at the bottom, it shows, I just wanna make sure you know how, for under a 4, and this is showing a 5.
Well, it can go with any, 3, 4, or 5, or 6. Well, actually 4, 5, or 6. You have to get special, even in this situation, I had to get special permission from the State Board of Equalization to change to a 4. And anybody that goes to a 2, or an annual, or 3, has to go before the State Board of Equalization. So this plan, if approved, this resolution will go before the State Board of Equalization. Johnny has to get his approved in his county, we have to match and go before the State Board of Equalization. So there's many moving parts, but let me see what you're talking about.
Don't think I'm trying to be picky, but it says conducted once. I just wanna make sure that we got the right wording here.
He was just giving you examples. I asked him the night before, if he could just give me what, reappraisal versus indexing, if he could just kind of explain that to you all in a more layman's term, where we can, see what they compare to.
All right, let's move on. We'll get to his presentation, which probably will answer a lot of, I've got you, Mr. Dunn. Go ahead.
The thing that is confusing on this, it says a resolution authorizing a 4-year reappraisal cycle. We already voted on that, and we are on a 4-year cycle, correct? What this includes is the biannual indexing, and that is
every
included in
2.
the resolution. So, and the thing that, Commissioner Goss, the indexing explanation is confusing because it is using 5 years as an example rather than the 4.
He just did it overall, because we, I guess, used to be on a 5, but it doesn't have anything to do with the year, he's just giving you examples. So on a 4-year, I'm still on a 4-year, but in year 2, so we have to have either a ratio, in the past, it always had to be year 2, after the reappraisal, we'd have to have a ratio. And then we would go to another one in 2 more years, and then reappraisal. Okay, so we had 2 ratios under 5. When I went to 4, we only have 1 ratio. And I was excited to get rid of 1 ratio. Well, now that we have this opportunity, it gets rid of the ratio and we don't lose money in the personal property ratio part and our OSAP part. So it's saving the county money. And that's why I'm even presenting it to you all, because I want to save the citizens of Roane County all the money I can.
All right, sir, be ready?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to allow us to speak tonight to you regarding the reappraisal process and the new option to index. As previously mentioned, my name is Gabe Roane. I'm a property assessment consultant with CTAS. I have the opportunity to work with the 33 assessors in the eastern part of the county. We are partners in this process. There's been a lot of conversation about this particular issue. I hope there's been a lot of conversation already tonight. I hope that I can maybe piece together some answers for you for some of the questions that were asked. But as was previously mentioned, 3 years ago, if you had the opportunity to go to the post-legislative conference in Gatlinburg, the comptroller in his statements first mentioned more frequent reappraisal. And in that conversation, he talked about the elimination of the 5 and 6 year reappraisal cycle. His statements implied that we're long past the time of holding off or reevaluating property values 5 and 6 years. If I'm quite frank with you, I would argue that a 4 year is still relatively too long in the current market environment that we live in. But I'm going to qualify that for you in just a minute. Going in, as Molly mentioned, going into the 2024 legislative session, there was a bill that would have removed the 5 and 6 year reappraisal cycles. So you would have had the option to go to a 1 to 4 year cycle. That's how progressive that particular bill was. That bill went through the Senate committees, went to the Senate floor without any hiccups, no problems, passed on the Senate floor without much conversation at all. On the House side, it went through the House committees, no problems, not very many questions. When it got to the House floor, there was a question about tax, property tax, and it was implied that it was a tax hike. That in and of itself was incorrect, because the reappraisal by its very design is revenue neutral. And you're probably well aware, being that you just approved the certified tax rate last year, you're familiar with that process. But as we look at the historical reappraisal cycles, the ratio is the driver in the conversation. So this body, I applaud the assessor and this body for being progressive in moving from a 5 year reappraisal to a 4 year cycle. In your historical 5 year reappraisal, you have a ratio study in year 2 and year 4, okay? By moving to the traditional 4 year cycle, you still have a ratio in year 2, okay? So that's where you stood as of this time last year when you approved the 4 year reappraisal cycle. The reappraisal, as we know when it's already been mentioned, the intent of the ratio study is to equalize the annually assessed personal property and public utility assessments with the delayed local assessed real property, okay? This next bullet point is probably the most important part of the conversation. Ratio adjustments will always reduce the personal property and public utility assessments, okay? County to county, as I have this conversation, if it wasn't for real property growth, you would be upside down. And it would force this body, in most cases, to exercise one of 3 options, which neither are very favorable. First of all, it might cause a tax increase, an increase to the tax rate, okay? Nobody wants to have that conversation. It might also reduce office holders to reduce their spending, okay? That's a difficult ask. And then last but not least, if you don't want to exercise those 2 options, you might have to reach into your rainy day fund. That's not a good policy either. So with that in mind, there was additional conversation with the comptroller about how do we eliminate these ratios. So I don't want you to get lost in the numbers, but I want you just to, we looked at the last 5 years prior to the reappraisal and looked at the impact or the growth of your assessments, specifically your real property versus your total assessments. So over the last 5 years, between 20 and 24, your real property grew $123 million over those 5 years. But your total assessments only grew $86 million. How is that possible? How does your real property grow $123 million, but your total assessments only grew $86 million? there was a ratio adjustment that negatively affected $37 million of assessed value for Roane County. Okay? That $37 million of assessments equated to $979,000 of tax dollars that your county did not receive over that 4-year, 5-year period. Okay? This is the breakdown. We go a little bit further in the breakdown of the personal property and public utility assessments. You can see the numbers in red, and that's just the detail of year to year on how those assessments were affected by a ratio study or equalization. Okay? The unintended consequence of an equalization adjustment to personal property and public utilities is it requires you to recover that unrealized revenue, that $979,000 that you didn't have available to you. The burden shifts in part to the real property owners. That's your residential, that's your homeowners, farmers, and your commercial and industrial real property. Okay? So that's how we've gotten to where we are today. And again, I applaud the assessor in this commission for being progressive and moving from a 5 to a 4-year. Why do we even want to consider shortening the cycle? Well, current market value, by its very nature, implies more frequent revaluation. The longer you wait to reassess, appraisal uniformity and equity breaks down. When you update values more frequently, it allows for those values to be restored, and that uniformity and equity comes full circle. This is probably the most important comment for this body. More frequent reappraisals or indexing will eliminate the equalization ratio that's applied to personal property and public utilities. Let me say that again. More frequent reappraisal and indexing will eliminate the equalization ratio that's applied to personal property and public utility assessments. That $979,000 that you didn't get goes in your pocket for this body to appropriate as they see fit over that 4 or 5 year period. We talk frequently to finance folks and budget committees. The viability of the property tax depends on the accuracy of the appraisals. Okay? It also provides more stability and predictability in the budget process, which is very important to this body. Taxpayers will benefit from smaller incremental increases created by the shorter reappraisal cycle. And there was some discussion earlier about your tax relief program. You may not be aware of this. The equalization ratio that's applied to personal property and public utility assessments is also applied to the tax relief payments. So if there's a ratio, it negatively affects the tax relief that the low-income elderly, disabled, and veterans get through the state program. Generally speaking, it affects an elderly or disabled person approximately $50 less. It could affect a veteran up to $300. Okay? By default, that's a tax increase for those individual taxpayers. They have to dig deeper in their pocket because they're not receiving the credits through the state program that they got the year before. So it does have a negative effect on the tax relief program. So last year, as Molly mentioned, there was language changed in the reappraisal statutes that allows an assessor to reappraise with or without indexing. Okay? For that to occur, you have to be on a 4-year cycle or less. We have 3 counties that have gone to a 2-year. Blunt, Sullivan, and Knox. Davidson and Williamson have gone to a 3-year. And as was mentioned, the lion's share of the 5-year counties that are reappraising this year are going to a 4-year with indexing in year 2. Hamlin County, they reappraised last year, like you all did. They've already amended this year, the last week of January, to go to a 4-year. They actually approved a 4-year, but they modified their plan the last week of January to include indexing in year 2. Okay? This, as opposed to the previous slide with the historical cycles, instead of having a ratio in year 2, you have indexing. That eliminates that ratio completely. I've already discussed this. There was a legislative change last year that allows for the updating. The other thing that I want to mention about indexing, it gives the assessor a lot of flexibility. They can actually index in years 1, 2, and 3. They can index annually if they chose to do so. We're not there yet. That's a very, very, very aggressive approach. We do believe that a 4-year with indexing in year 2 is probably the best option at this point. So what is indexing? An indexing in the assessment world is nothing more than a multiplier that's used to adjust property values back to the market since the last reappraisal. So for the sake of simplicity, Molly has already mentioned that your ratio was somewhere 85, 88%. Mathematically, if we developed a countywide ratio or factor, it would be somewhere between 15 and 18%. It's a little more detailed than that because the factors are built based on location and marketability. So let's think of your commission districts as an example of a market area. All right, we potentially have multiple market areas across the county. Each part of the county grows at different paces. Certain parts of the counties are more aggressive in their growth. Their sales reflect that. Other parts of the county move a little bit slower. So in the aggressive part of the county, let's say that sales were outpacing the assessments by 20%. There'd be a 20% factor to bring them back to market in those aggressive market areas. In the less aggressive areas of the county, the sales may be only outpacing the assessments by 3%. There would only be a 3% adjustment in that market area. And then there'd be the mix, everything between, right? From 3 to 20% potentially, depending on the market area and the sales activity in those areas. So I've already mentioned the index factors are based on market area. Each county will have likely have several index factors based on location and the character of the improvements within that market area. And I give an example. If a market area was growing at 5%, there would be an index factor of 1.05. Those values would be adjusted 5% to bring them back to market. Just like your traditional reappraisal, if you choose to index in year 2 and update anytime there's an updating of value back to market, it triggers a new certified tax rate calculation. So if you approve the indexing for 2027, which would be the second year since the reappraisal, it would trigger a new certified tax rate. It protects your tax relief payments. I've already discussed that. It eliminates the ratio adjustment to your appeals. And we believe that eliminating those equalization ratios will increase county revenues and allow for more reliable budget forecasting. So how do we get there?
Can I ask a question? So if it's, we gotta have a new certified tax rate.
Right.
And it's revenue neutral because virtue of the certified tax rate. So how does the county receive any windfall, like the 900,000 you was referring to, where's that money come from? It's gotta come from somewhere, right?
Well, you're eliminating the ratio. That's a negative. There is no negative. So you're gonna get a benefit of all those
Just some
dollars.
clarity, that, so the OSAP properties that Molly referred to, which are your railroad utilities, and your corporate personal property, receives a discount based on that ratio. So when that ratio is issued, they get that much off their property tax. That's the money that we've lost, that we would eliminate that loss if we incorporated the index. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
The way to put it, that discount is what's costing us the money.
So why do they get discounted?
Because, how many years ago, there was a court case where a collection of these entities sued, because they go through reappraisal every year. They're reappraised every year, correct?
Correct.
So they sued because residential property owners were only getting reappraised every 5 years or so, and they're having to pay based on reappraisal every year. They sued, and the result of that lawsuit was they get a discount based on a ratio that the residential homeowners don't get. So this saves that money. Does that make sense, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead, you can finish.
That's always been a point that is confusing to a lot of people.
Right. There's an annual assessment for personal property and public utilities. It's a self-reporting assessment. They submit asset lists annually. So their values are always at 100%. And they said, while we love paying our fair share of the tax, we think we're being mistreated compared with equitability compared to our real property owners. And the courts agreed with them. And the remedy, if you will, was a ratio that would adjust them in line with the real property. And that's why they're getting that discount.
And that's why we've lost $900,000+.
Right. So how do we get there, right? We're here. So there's been broad communication. We've already kind of worked through this. There was a question about the timing. This particularly indexing portion was approved last summer, was signed off by the governor. The Division of Property Assessments has oversight over this. They have been actively working to enhance the program. It's evolving literally as we speak. Molly didn't mention, there were actually some meetings that she and Anderson County was supposed to have that got postponed because of weather. So there was an attempt to get in front of you earlier, but got halted because of weather implications. But what happens is the assessor brings this plan to you. There is an exception that allows for you to modify your plan. There's also a question about the timing. If this plan's approved, counties that are reappraising right now are getting their plans approved for the next cycle, if you will, in February and March. Okay, that's the traditional time frame to get those new plans approved. They are submitted to the Division of Property Assessments where they review them for accuracy and completeness. And then it is sent to the to the State Board of Equalization for final approval. On the way to this meeting tonight, I received notification the State Board's meeting will be April 13th. So the clock is ticking, okay? So that particular board does not meet monthly. They meet in April, August, and October. Okay? So push has kind of come to shove as it relates to this particular issue for this county. So with that, I'm gonna stop. Are there any questions for me?
The indexing, do those numbers come from the state as far as what percentage should be used on specific sections of the county?
Those numbers are actually in Molly's assessment software. Okay? The state's gonna be involved in the review of those numbers, and they're gonna clarify the sales data for accuracy. So they have oversight, but the numbers
Our in-her system as we
So
speak,
it's just a matter of
pulling the numbers and
hitting the
analyzing.
button.
So is that a state software function that those index is populated in?
Molly and Johnny from Anderson County, they are both using the state CAMA system, computer-aided mass appraisal. It's called Impact. There's 80-something counties across the state that use that. So yes, the answer to your question is it's in there. Now, I don't want to oversimplify it. The math is easy, okay? But there's data analysis, sales verification. The work continues to make sure the data is correct, because the final outcome, these index factors are only as good as the data that's been analyzed.
So she continues, year two, she has to have 50% of her appraisals up to date, right? The appraisals are still going on, right?
Yeah, review.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where your indexing is coming from, right? The numbers that.
No.
Sales.
From sales, but I'm saying that's basically where you're picking them
That's
up.
where my numbers
On
come
your
from.
numbers, yeah. So that process is ongoing.
Correct.
And then from that's where we're gonna pick up, where we're different, 30 or 40% in the sales. And that's what we're really after, is keeping up the sales, right?
Correct. Instead of having a 68% increase over 5 years, we're hoping to shorten the cycle and have incremental increases that are more palatable for the taxpayer.
Then every 2 years, then we'd have another certified tax rate.
Yes, if you did it in 27, you'd update, have a certified tax rate, and then in year 4, you would have a comprehensive revaluation like you did last year, and it would also trigger a certified tax
Did I
rate.
hear you say the utilities pay 15% more than?
No, they get a 15% extra discount on top of the ratio.
So that's what you're saying, if we don't do this, then we're losing more and more money.
More and more and more.
So with the Tennessee code annotates 6075, 1601. I've read that. I didn't see the indexing in it. Now, the one I could view was only from 24. And the county attorney looked at it as well. He's got access to more frequent. So they updated the law.
Yeah, they actually changed the wording in there that allows with or without indexing.
Okay. But I seen it in House Bill 1873, that they passed, in January, so. But, all right.
I've got a question. So you said April, August, and something?
October.
So if we're still somewhat confused or this or that, if we don't do it tonight, we have before August to do it.
Well, the direction from the assistant director with the Division of Property said there is a timing component to this. The longer you delay it, it really becomes impractical to move forward with it. I understand the concern and the timing, but under the circumstances, it doesn't work for Roane County or Anderson County to postpone it till August.
So we've got that time frame. Why was the state so late getting it to Molly? I mean, they wanna put us on a time frame, and we gotta make a quick decision, if something's laid down in front of you to make a vital decision for the county, our taxpayers.
I can't answer on their behalf.
Well, now CTAS issued the guidance on November 6th from the October meeting.
Yeah, there's been continued conversation, but CTAS issued the guidance and encouraged the movement. I'm not sure.
But the law would have had to already been passed.
It was signed off by the governor in the summer.
Okay, so.
But there's been.
October meeting, it was pitched, and
Right.
they issued November 6th.
Yeah, they had to update their reappraisal templates. The template that includes indexing is completely different than the template that you approved last year at this time. So there's some moving parts, the paperwork, the updating. I'm not sure at the state level if they really thought there'd be this many counties that were moving in this direction, to be perfectly honest with you.
Will this in any way impact what Ben was Commissioner Wilson was speaking about earlier with their seniors.
Well, if you don't index, you still have a ratio next year, and it will adjust, it will cause an adjustment, a negative adjustment to the relief payments that are made to those elderly, disabled and veteran recipients.
So if we don't do the indexing, then we're not recuperating any of the monies that we've lost.
Correct.
Well, let me explain my thought. We will have to find other outlets to get the money that we've lost, keep the budget balanced and move forward with no growth.
So we're never gonna get back the 900 and something.
We'll never get back, but what I'm saying is, if we don't pass it moving forward, we will not get the 970-something thousand plus moving forward. So if we don't do that, we're gonna have to find a way to make up that revenue shortfall.
For example, this upcoming, we've already lost that,
Yes,
potentially could lose more.
yes.
And it would appear, based on Molly's, testimony, that you're already 15 to 18% below the market value right now.
All right.
12 to 15%.
Any other
I
questions?
think basically, what we're saying is, if you vote against it tonight, we're leaving money on the table from the taxpayers that has no impact, other impact on the sale of the properties around them. It's gonna be determined what goes on in 2 years for a certified tax rate increase at that time. So basically, we're either gonna pass it. Nobody hates something like this, but if you sit around here long enough, you have to face some of these situations, but for whatever reason, timing doesn't favor us, but a no vote takes the money away from the taxpayers. A yes vote puts us on an indexing, which we talked about. I think the very first indexing that we saw, we were several $100,000 back then. And so that's basically it, right? You either gonna vote to get it, or you're gonna vote not to get it.
And the revenue's gained in 27, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's when we would have our first certified tax.
Index, and then certified.
All right.
We have to pass it, and once they're.
And that's a point. There's a contingency here, right? With Anderson County. Is that right?
I spoke, just for transparency, I spoke to the budget committee in Anderson County last Thursday. They have voted to move forward pending the action of this commission. They will have their full commission meeting on next Monday.
Yeah. All right.
What,
Chair recognizes Ms. Cunningham.
so this tax, we just not paying our tax, when the tax due.
The due date doesn't change.
Yeah.
It would still be October.
Of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? All right.
Wait, this is under the recommendation of the comptroller. Correct. Because we went to that same meeting. That is under his recommendation.
Yeah, the comptroller has been very public in saying that if you present a reasonable, practical reappraisal plan, he would do his part to support it. And we have seen that, as we have seen Sullivan County, Blount County, Knox County go to a 2-year reappraisal cycle. Williamson and Davidson have gone to a 3. So
It's like that gun tonight. I mean, that's a big difference.
All right, at this time, the motion was made by Duff, and it was seconded by Brackett. We've discussed it as much as we can. Is there any other discussion on this resolution? All right, hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries 14-1. Thank you. Any other, business come before the county commission?
Did we adjourn?
All right, motion by, Henderson, second by